Once upon a time, in a peaceful and beautiful village in Italy, there lived Geppetto, a solitary carpenter. Geppetto worked in his workshop near the village, crafting wooden trees. However, the emptiness and loneliness had affected him for many years. He always longed for a child who could bring love into his life, but as the years passed, that wish remained unfulfilled. Geppetto had once been married, but his wife had passed away, and he had no children. No matter how much he worked, the peace and joy that came from his craft could not fill the void within him. In his solitary life sometimes, as he shaped the wood, he would imagine a child, envisioning a different future. One day, he started working on a piece of wood that he had found in the forest near his workshop. At first glance, the piece of wood seemed like an ordinary one, but when he looked at it, he felt a strange sensation. He thought the piece of wood was trying to tell him something. He carefully examined it and began shaping it with patience and love, working for many hours. He worked so diligently that with every cut and every strike, the piece of wood seemed to come to life. At night, he would refine it, trying to shape it into the figure of a real child. Finally, when he was done, this small wooden figure looked exactly like a little boy. Geppetto named the figure Pinocchio. That night, he made a wish, hoping that the figure might somehow come to life as a real child. Later that evening, as Geppetto slept, something marvelous happened. The wooden figure of Pinocchio suddenly began to move. In the darkness of the room, Pinocchio started to stir. When Geppetto woke up in the morning, he was astonished to find the wooden figure behaving just like a real child. The little Pinocchio stood up and looked around. Geppetto, stunned and not believing his eyes, rushed into the room, but in front of him stood a real boy. Geppetto approached Pinocchio in awe, his eyes wide, and he said, "I had imagined you as my son, but now you are truly here." Pinocchio was no longer just a wooden figure. He had become a living, breathing child. Geppetto loved him so much that he promised to always protect him and raise him as his own. At first, everything was perfect. Geppetto decided to teach him everything, to impart the values of life, and show him the difference between right and wrong. But Pinocchio, still a pure and curious boy, wasn't interested in many of Geppetto's lessons. Instead, he was eager to explore the world. Despite Geppetto's concerns, one morning, Pinocchio left the house and decided to go to the city. He thought the city was the place where he could learn everything. When he arrived, he was thrilled. There, he discovered new people, shops, markets, and streets that fascinated him. But in the city, two evil characters appeared, named Pinocchio and Geppetto. They were deceitful and insincere, always trying to trick others. When they saw Pinocchio, they approached and said, "Come with us. You could be very rich. Let's go and find treasures made of gold," they promised. Pinocchio couldn't resist their tempting offer and decided to follow them. The two led Pinocchio deep into the forest. However, instead of gold, they found a tiger crying. As Pinocchio realized the lies of the deceitful duo, the dog and the cat got lost in the forest, leaving Pinocchio alone. He began to think deeply. Why did I fall for their lies so easily? Why didn't I see the truth? Shouldn't I have understood what was really important? This moment marked a turning point in his life. He began to question the difference between truth and lies. But Pinocchio made another mistake. Slowly, he decided to continue his search for the truth. The dog told him that in order to become a real boy, he must find the truth within his heart. Pinocchio felt a new sense of purpose. He wanted to become a real boy, and to do that, he needed to find the truth. After some time, Pinocchio continued his journey through the world of lies. Throughout his travels, Pinocchio encountered many adventures, all in his pursuit of the truth. One day, he ended up in a grand circus. Here, Pinocchio was used as a laughingstock. People mocked him whenever they saw him. It became clear to Pinocchio that he was being treated as nothing more than an object for amusement. This realization filled him with despair, but after taking a deep breath, he made a decision. He would not be just a material for entertainment. He would become a real boy. He fought for his freedom, and one night, he found his chance and escaped the circus. On another day, Pinocchio found an opportunity with a fisherman. The fisherman told him it would be wise to venture into the depths of the sea. Pinocchio and the fisherman set sail, but a fierce storm struck at sea. The storm was so strong that their boat was destroyed, and Pinocchio was lost in the depths of the ocean. Strong winds carried Pinocchio to a whale. The whale was a giant, and it swallowed him whole. taking him on an inner journey of solitude. In his solitude, Pinocchio reflected on his mistakes. He realized his wrongdoings and decided it was time to grow. He knew that to become a conscious boy, he had to learn from his errors. His courage and determination helped him escape from the whale. Eventually, Pinocchio decided to find Geppetto. Geppetto had lost his son years ago and had been very sad, but Pinocchio's return gave Geppetto a new spark of hope in his eyes. Even though he had lost his son for so long, his love for him was even deeper now. Geppetto opened his arms to Pinocchio and said, "We will be together forever." Pinocchio smiled and said, "Now I am a real boy." They embraced, and together they began a new life. Pinocchio had discovered the truth, and he always carried it in his heart. His journey taught others how a boy can embark on an inner quest, discover the truth, and grow. The story of Pinocchio was passed down from generation to generation. As the years passed, Pinocchio grew into a kind-hearted and wise young boy. He and Geppetto lived together in their small cottage, where they continued to craft beautiful wooden creations. But now Pinocchio also helped others in the village. His journey of self-discovery had changed him, and he became a source of inspiration to everyone around him. One day, while walking through the village, Pinocchio saw a young boy sitting alone, looking sad and lost. Pinocchio approached him and asked, "What's wrong, little one?" The boy explained that he had lost his way and didn't know how to find his home. Pinocchio, remembering how he had once felt lost and unsure of his path, gently took the boy's hand. "Don't worry," he said with a smile. "I'll help you find your way." Together, they walked through the village, asking for directions, and eventually, they found the boy's home. His family was overjoyed to see him safe and sound, and they thanked Pinocchio for his kindness. That day, Pinocchio realized that true happiness came not from riches or adventures, but from helping others and making the world a better place. He had learned that love, honesty, and courage were the true treasures of life. As time went on, Pinocchio's reputation as a kind and brave boy spread throughout the land. He became known not only for his transformation into a real boy, but also for the wisdom he shared with everyone he met. Pinocchio and Geppetto lived happily ever after, and the lessons of truth, love, and growth were passed down through the generations. Pinocchio's story became a cherished tale in every home, teaching children the importance of honesty, kindness, and the power of believing in oneself. And so, the legend of Pinocchio lived on, inspiring countless hearts, reminding everyone that the greatest journey is the one that leads us to discover the truth within ourselves. The end. If you enjoyed this magical story of love, transformation, and hope, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enchanting tales from around the world. What story would you like to hear next? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep believing in the magic of love and transformation. And remember, true beauty comes from within.